Alright. I am here at Philadelphia International Airport and I'm on my way to see my lady in Canada. It's gonna be a a wild ride today. I got 2 stops and yeah, gonna see what it do. But I'll holler at you in a minute. Well, that clip you just saw was from December 2nd, 2020 at 4 in the morning. I was about to get on a plane to see my lady after, 10 months, 11 months of not seeing her. And I was definitely excited. And I don't share a lot of my personal life and my struggles, but I thought this was necessary. Okay, I have to go back to the beginning because I know you saw the title of this. And the beginning is around November 2nd or whatever, somewhere early November. I bought a plane ticket to go see my lady, and it was through Google Flights, and it was on United and on Air Canada. It was cheap, so it stopped. It had 2 stops. It stopped in Chicago and it stopped in where else? Toronto, then to Ottawa, where she lives. And I know it's a pandemic, and I did my due diligence to make sure I knew of all the little rules and stipulations that we had to abide by for me to even go see her. And being as though I'm her spouse, then that made me qualify for that, and I had to make sure I had all my ducks in a row. So she calls me Mr. Research because I research a lot, before I do things, before I buy things, before I go anywhere. And I thought I researched everything I could about Canada's rules about Americans or whoever coming to this country during this pandemic. So I went to the government website and they have all this stuff on it. It is really confusing, and I did what I could and not regurgitate, what's the right word? Just absorbed everything I could off that site. And also I went the extra mile to go to call nurses in Ontario to make sure I'm following all the rules, that I had all my paperwork right. And I talked to a few people from there and Air Canada. Talked to Air Canada about certain things. So my biggest question was, will I be able to come to Canada for less than 14 days? Because the rule is you come there, you got to quarantine for 14 days, which really doesn't make sense because you could quarantine and still get sick out there after the 14 days when you are allowed to leave wherever you're quarantining at. So I feel it's not even a safe bet, and what if you're asymptomatic? It's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just difficult. So my thing was, I couldn't just leave the country for 14 days straight up. Not everybody can do that at like a random time like that. So I made sure that these people were telling me, oh yeah, you can stay less than 14 days. You just got to quarantine for the time you're there. So from early November, I'm definitely like, I'm excited. I'm like, okay, got my girl something for Christmas, and we can't spend Christmas together, but I could come there a little earlier. So that's what I did. I just prepared to go. Not really a doubt in my mind that I wouldn't get in the country. And that was just a secure feeling. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got all my paperwork. I'm great, right? I thought. So as we approach the excitement is building. She's excited. I'm excited. Haven't seen her since January. And I think it's like the night before. I still didn't check like if anything changed. And nothing really did change. It just was like kind of misinformation that I'm leading up to. So the morning of, so what I had to do, the flight was at 7 a.m. in the morning. So you know I had to go to bed early or just stay up all night. So I went to bed early and I woke up at 3 o'clock, had my Uber come at 4 and take me to the airport, Philadelphia International Airport to be exact. I was flying United out of Philly and going to Chicago. So that first part you saw, that's when I got to the airport. And I go in, I'm just waiting for the United people to come. They're like, they don't come out till like 4:30, so I'm just there. And let me backtrack. I went to check in actually 24 hours before, and it said that it was a problem with me checking in for the flight. And I had to I don't know, just go see somebody when I went there. So that's what I did. So I didn't know what the problem was, but what I did was, I did my little thing, scanned what I needed to scan, put my confirmation number in, and it told me to see the representative. So seen the representative, and they just said, "Oh, you're missing a document." A document. What document am I missing? But I didn't see anything about that. Nobody on them phones that I called, as far as the nurses in Air Canada, nobody said anything about me needing a document. So I'm like, what is this document? So the document I needed was a picture of my wife's passport to say that, she's a Canadian citizen. So I'm like, okay, that never came up. And then on the website, it's so confusing. It's like, I don't know, maybe that went over my head, but I didn't see that. That's one thing I didn't have. So I wasn't even allowed to get on that flight to Chicago. And I'm like, and I felt like some of the agents there at United were being insensitive. And I'm just like, I'm trying to see my lady, that I haven't seen. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was a little insensitivity. I know you got to be straight up with customers, but it's just like, I don't know. It just was, I don't know. I felt like nobody gave a shit, basically. So basically, I couldn't get on that flight, so I had to get it rescheduled. I called United first. I called United Airlines first to see if they can switch my flight to later in the day or the next day. So they pushed me over to Air Canada. Air Canada tried to push me back to United, saying, oh, they control the tickets. So I'm like, yo, listen. It's like they just sent me over here. So a guy from Air Canada definitely looked out and had me on the same time flight and everything for the whole trip the very next day. So mind you, I had to wake my lady up at 4 in the morning to send me the stuff. But I had it. I went and printed it out later that day after I went home. So something was saying to me, or maybe my lady was saying it to me, but I'm thinking, if I was missing this piece of information, what else am I missing? Because this popped up out of nowhere. Maybe it's new, I don't know. But I called around. I was calling Air Canada. My lady's friend, Char's friend, knew people that worked at the border services and immigration and things like that. And I had a few numbers to call. So that day, a day before the flight, I'm like, okay, let me see Like, if you know what I'm missing. So I thought I needed like an extra document that needed to be notarized, but I didn't need that. And then my biggest question was, hey, can I stay shorter than 14 days? And I was getting, yes, you can stay. The first couple of times, but I had to be sure and ask more people, and some people wasn't even sure, but people were telling me, yes, you can stay longer than 14 days. But then we get to the manager, and this lady, you know, not even a manager, I don't know who she was, but she just was like, no, you have to stay for 14 days. Like, that's the rule. That's what the health center rule is. You stay for 14 days. You can't leave, and if you leave less than 14 days, you'll get a fine or something. And I can't afford that with me trying to get into that country. I really can't have that on my record at all. So, it was reiterated once my lady called, because she's like a firecracker with that customer service. And we really got the tremendously bad news that I couldn't stay for less than 14 days. And at this point in my life, I couldn't stay for 14 days. I just can't, you know? So we were getting misinformation the day before I'm supposed to leave. So we went through some scenarios like, okay, well, what if you come here? And she would have to actually quarantine for 14 days here too. And she couldn't just leave for 14 days to come here. So it was a devastating moment to find out that due to miscommunication, due to just, I don't know, just a lot of back and forth and a lot of like just misinformation from Canada's services or whatever, I don't know, the airline and immigration. Everybody should have been on the same page. They really should have been on the same page with that. And I felt like they definitely dropped the ball. You know, we definitely made an impact with management for them to correct that, because a lot of people didn't know, and they gave us that false hope of actually seeing each other this year. So now we can't see each other this year. Yeah. And I had to hear my lady cry. We were talking for like 4 hours on this FaceTime. Like, I had to hear her cry. And me, you know, I didn't cry, but I got mad and I'm kicking shit. Wanted to break stuff. But it's like, I had to be strong for us. I definitely had to be strong for us. And I'm remaining strong. So right now, I'm supposed to be there. But what I did, I just did my best to calm her nerves, calm her down. And for me, I'm a content creator. I'm a, you know, video editor. I'm a fitness enthusiast. And I just buried myself into these, you know, these things that I do. And I just stayed motivated through it. And I'm working out a little heavier, eating better. And I'm just taking care of myself through this little stressful time. Because I know I will see her. But that really hurt. That really hurt to be having that false hope due to misinformation. You know? Yeah. Yeah. So, it'll be probably a year that I haven't seen her. Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. But, I don't know. I guess that's it. That's the horrible, concise story. It's just as concise as I can put it. It really hurt. Not gonna lie. And I don't even usually do this, but I can't lie. Yeah, but that's it though.